guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
We're back, guys. UFC Abu Dhabi, Ankalaev versus Guskov, a fight night card or fight morning card. We like to say 9 a.m. Start time. That's for the early prelims. Main event probably be, around 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern time. Not a pretty card on paper, but we have some fun fights. Some obviously European fighters out over in that region that usually mainly just fight over there. So we will see some of those guys this weekend. The main event has changed, guys. Remember, this wasn't the main event, right? They wouldn't build a fight night card in Abu Dhabi around this main event. Let's be honest. Roundtree backed out, I think about 3-4 weeks ago. It's supposed to be Roundtree, Ankalaev, Guskov jumping in on short notice. We'll break down the main card or the 5 fights on the main card that I want to discuss, provide free picks, leans, price talk, value, and more. Like this video, if you're watching on YouTube, guys, it does help out a ton. If you're listening just on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, review, share with your friends that like UFC and like NFL coming around the corner and listens to PGA and just wants to beat the sportsbook, learn how to beat the sportsbooks long term. It helps out a ton, guys. Link.me/system capping for everything system. We got socials over there. We got articles. We got resume. We got records. We got free picks at the website. And client opportunities as well. Right? We invest in multiple sports, not just the UFC. And we're profitable each year. Can't tell you how much I'll profit each year, but we are profitable. Speaking of profit, we just came off the World Cup. We did have a client card. I did a couple podcasts as well throughout the tournament, but the client card was the focus. It's plus 7.2 units, $7,200 for most people that are betting a little higher amounts. Profitable tournament like I expected. And remember, it's a guaranteed profit or refund. So thanks for everyone that jumped on board. I got a good amount of people that did. So shout out to you guys. The main highlights were 3-0 on best bets. 3-0 on best bets, guys, all in the future market. And then Mbappe Golden Boot, plus 550. We missed out on France to win the whole thing. Obviously, Spain beat them. Spain prices was tough to bet, like at plus 400. Can't get excited of that in the future market, right? But that wasn't the focus. The focus were the best bets, the future markets, and the single games as well. Let's do a UFC OKC recap. Perfect client card last week, 4-0 on all the fights. We hit a parlay and main full unit winner on Tommy McMillan. Loved McMillan in that spot. I'm high on him. I've been following his career for quite some time due to myself following, the Tim and Sugar Sean training camp. They have a couple guys that are coming up in the UFC now. The other guy actually won on the card earlier. Israel Elliott, he won earlier in his debut. Took it on 4 days' notice. So shout out to him. He missed weight by a pound, so he's going to have to clean that up. But yeah, Tommy McMillan was the focus and play here, and he dominated his guy, got the 3rd round TKO. He's a guy that's going to fight for your money, very durable, comes forward, brings the fight, can take a shot. He can wrestle and grapple. We just haven't seen it much because he wants to go out and win 100,000 each time. No, I'm not going to say he's technically pretty or, he has the best attributes out of fighters, but, sometimes having the will to come forward, throwing a ton of volume, that's what you like. And he's well-rounded. So love to see what Tommy McMillan is going to bring to the UFC. Shout out to DDP. Right? Gets it done by decision, as expected. Usman just doesn't have championship level fights left in my eyes, guys. He's not at the top of the food chain anymore. I loved when he was. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time, guys. Let's be honest. He's right up there. He had some impressive fights in his career, but right now, I do believe he's obviously on the back nine. I still think he could fight. I'd love to see him against like more of a veteran guy, not an up and coming guy or a proven guy like DDP. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, so DDP was the play. DDP by decision. I had the over in rounds as well on that fight. Fun card, actually. It was a fun card. Some good fights. You can't always just look at the names on the paper or the matchups on the paper. Sometimes those cards turn out to be great, guys. And this could be an example of another one here that we'll break down shortly. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Main event, Ankalaev minus 550 versus Guskov. Plus 400. Yikes. Big price here, right? Obviously, I do like Ankalaev. I'll tell you why. It's just hard to bet him here. And you're going to look at an outcome, and that's what we're going to try to, dissect here, the outcome. But, it's not easy with Ankalaev fights because, sometimes he does coast and he does push it to the decision. But we'll probably be leaning a finish here. Hard to argue Ankalaev not being a big favorite here. Minus 550 is a bit high. I would have had him at maybe 350, 400. Guskov has that power to hurt you. And, he has had a couple good wins in his career. Krylov was a good one. He had a draw versus Jan. So he has been improving. I do believe at the beginning of his career in the UFC, he didn't look that great. He did struggle at times versus certain guys. He's starting to get better. He looks like he's getting kind of better every fight. Ankalaev, though, I have him at the top of the food chain in his division, and I think it's going to be a very tall task for Guskov to win this fight. Ankalaev coming off, obviously, the loss versus Pereira in the rematch. I expect him to be dialed in for this one, guys. His clear path is to wrestle. He just doesn't like to, because he has good striking. He has really good boxing and striking, guys, but in this fight, he has a clear path is to wrestle. Guskov's not a good wrestler. He's more of a power puncher, wants to keep the fight standing, and he has 57% takedown defense. So, if Ankalaev just wants to make it easy on himself, he wrestles, he gets it down to the ground, maybe get some ground and pound, maybe look for a submission. I have Ankalaev winning this fight 85, 90% of the time, guys. Right? That one time is Guskov catches him with a big shot and hurts him. Guskov's not going to win a 5-round decision. If he wins this fight, it means he caught Ankalaev. And I have that at very low odds. Again, I'm leaving it open at 90%. No fighter ever has a 100% chance of winning a fight. If you listen to my podcast, I'll never tell you that because it's not accurate. Right? Guskov's going to look for the big shots. That poor takedown defense is going to affect him here. I think Ankalaev will get this fight down to the ground at some point and use some of that wrestling. We also haven't seen Guskov go 5 rounds before, right? Ankalaev we have. So just a lot of red flags here for Guskov. Also the short notice fight. Remember, he's taking this on short notice. Ankalaev, you could obviously say, yes, this is a short notice match, but he was training for a striker as well in Roundtree. So I don't think it's going to be a drastic change. Roundtree's obviously the much better striker, so I don't think it's going to affect him too much here. So Ankalaev is the play. Lean the finish. It could go decision, guys. Very good shot, but I am going to lean a decision finish here for Ankalaev. Urseg minus 105 versus Temerov. Minus 115. Temerov, 0-2 in the UFC, just doesn't fight a lot. He hasn't lost a fight for 7 years. Fought in Rizin, other promotions in Europe. Urseg, we all know. Been there, done that, fought the best of the best. But when he stepped up to fight the best of the best, he struggled, right? Had that title shot versus Pantoja, lost. Lost to Kai Kara-France, lost to Moreno. So the top end of the division, he's losing, but he has back-to-back wins over guys like Tim Elliott and Audie Osborne, right? So lower tier guys. Temerov, from a statistic standpoint and on paper, has good skills as anybody. Just doesn't fight a ton. He was suspended recently as well, which concerns me due to some sort of banned substance. So This is a fight that I'm totally staying off of, and the market's telling you too they don't know what to do with it. It's pretty much even money here, guys, right? Keep in mind, though, this is going to be Tamarov's toughest opponent on paper so far. That's another reason why, I do like him when I watch his fights, but he is a nice win over Charles Johnson. But besides that, there's just not a lot to see from him, especially against higher level guys. Right? The market's telling you they don't know what the hell to do with it. I agree. I don't know how Urseg's going to travel as well. We've seen at times Urseg just kind of doesn't show up, right? We've seen that in fights. He is coming off the 2-fight win streak. I think he's kind of back on track here. However, he's back on track against lower level guys. And I do think he's just a mid-tier guy in this division. Lean as Urseg, but I'm not betting this fight, guys. I would suggest to stay away from this one. You're pretty much flipping a coin. The market line's telling you that. Favorite play, probably, guys, to be honest, over 2.5 rounds. That would be my favorite play here. Dulatov minus 900 versus Turman plus 600. All right, straight off the bat, value on Turman at plus 600. I don't care if you don't like him. He is a boring fighter. He tries to just hold you against the cage and try to grapple. He's not going to want to try to stand here. We're Dulatov. Dulatov, we know him. Power puncher, first round type of finisher. He's exciting to watch. Turman lost 3 straight. Right, coming off an injury as well that I see here. It's the reason for the big price here, right? A lot of hype around Dulatov. Fun to watch. First round finisher, 80% first round finish rate. 1-0 in the UFC. Very low level Adam Fugit win. So let's not get too excited. And it's a bit of a step up versus Turman due to Turman's experience, right? He trains with Glover Teixeira. He trains with Alex Pereira. He's just very limited, right? He doesn't have great striking. He's not explosive. The way he wins this fight would have to be against the cage, get the fight down to the ground, and try to grapple. That's the way to try to beat Dulatov. You're not going to beat him on the feet. He has that power to really hurt you. What will this fight look like if it gets into round 2 or 3? We don't really know. Dulatov doesn't go into those deep waters. That's deep waters for him. So we don't really know what it looks like. So if Turman can survive and get into round 2 or 3, it'll be an interesting fight. It'll be interesting. And then that value comes in at plus 600 tremendously because round 2 and 3, he's going to have a big advantage. So Turman's only path would be to chain wrestle, try to make this ugly against the cage, make this a brawl style wrestling, grappling type of fight, not a stand and bang bar fight. That would be a bad idea. Hard to see Turman winning this fight. I have to go with the male model / German fighter here. Yes, he's a male model, but he doesn't fight like one, guys. Does not fight like one. He will be, I think he wins this fight 80% of the time, right? Big striking advantage here, power, speed. Give me the German here by finish. Zainikov minus 300 versus Rizbekpi. Yeah, Rizbekpi. I'm not good with these Eastern European names, guys. You know that. Plus 240. Rizbekpi is coming from European scene, but he's a Polish fighter. Interesting. He just fought actually in with Topuria in Spain at WOW, one of Topuria's events, and he has been training with Topuria, so that is interesting. Zainikov, product of Khabib and Islam's camp, guys. 8-0, Dagestani wrestler. He can wrestle. Striking maybe not the most polished, but does look like a really good wrestler and grappler. Making his UFC debut, guys. Keep that in mind. Rizbekpi also making his debut. So it's a little good. It's a fun matchup. You can kind of say these two guys are like prospects and they're kind of fighting them early, but it's interesting. Interesting matchup here. I think it's a good fight to watch. The Polish fighter, like I said, he's fighting in Fen 57, WOW 29, very low-level guys he's getting wins from. He's 10-0, sure, but he hasn't fought anybody, guys. So it's hard to judge how he's going to look. I like what I see on paper. Good striker, boxer. Could struggle maybe here with some of the wrestling if the Russian decides to bring the fight down there, but it's a fun fight. Fun fight. I'm going to go with Khabib prodigy. I don't want to say his prodigy, but he's in his camp. He trains with him. So I'm going to have to look his way here. But the minus 300 is scary. I actually think there's a little value on the Polish fighter here at plus 240. And it is tough to call an outcome here. Very tough. So I'm going to lean the Russian here. Hate the price at minus 300. Probably won't bet it because of that. But I do believe he gets it done due to his wrestling. And you know he's going to be in a good training camp for this fight. Last fight we'll talk about here, guys. Kunaev minus 305 versus Fortune plus 245. Similar price to the last fight here. Again, I'm going to lean the Russian. When I can, I usually lean the Russian, especially fighting in the region. This one's a little more, because at least the Polish guy, kind of out in that time zone, used to probably fighting out there. Fortune, no, he's an American fighter, traveling over into these areas. Tough travel spot here. I have him, fighting the better guys as well. He obviously has not lost to Blades, Curtis Blades, in a split decision. Remember that fight? But he does have a win over Almeida as well. So resume advantage for Kunaev here. Fortune, he does have a decent win over Tabora. It's a respectable win, but I haven't seen much from him. He likes to wrestle. That's what I mainly see from him. Kunaev does have good takedown defense at 93%. And he does have the better striking than Fortune. Fortune's going to want to try to wrestle here. I don't think he's going to be able to successfully for a long period of time. And I think the Russian gets the job done here. Again, the travel spot's tough. I think the opponent's tough too, and that's why he's a 2-1 favorite here, a little more than that. So give me the Russian here. I do believe he wins this fight and get his hand raised. And it's tough to call here. Maybe lean decision over 2.5 rounds could be a look here. I think maybe some of the wrestling, grappling could slow down this fight. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Another UFC card, another early UFC card. Keep that in mind. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this card.